Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world today. We're getting started with our Final Fantasy XIV stream today. We're at the end of Heavensward. First order of business today is to climb Baelsar's wall. So what we'll be doing is going ahead and getting into our duty support and fire that up so we can get going today. I hope y'all are doing okay. You want to drop a comment down in the chat, let us know what's going on with you. We sure would appreciate it. Of course, if you prefer to lurk and just enjoy the atmosphere and the gameplay with us, that's quite all right too, of course. We've got what we hope are at least our trusty generic scions here accompanying us. Doing pretty decent there so far anyways. Way to go, Scions. his other key. All right. Whoopsie. That was almost devastating. Loves to do that, don't they? All right. did y'all get down there so fast? Alright, let's try this one now. I don't know that one. We have to do here. Oh boy. Guess do that, right? Just at the last minute. Alright. This should be about down. Array of aiming. Let's see. That is high level 245. It's not going to be any higher. Yeah, 255 for my basic dancer here. Ring of Aim.
Yeah! Yeah! How'd you like this? Sloppy. I'll tear you limb from limb. Yeah. Sloppy. For Alamigo! I have you now. Yeah. How'd you like this? Yeah!
What are y'all gonna do to me?
Sloppy. Yeah. 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 Sloppy. Yeah. I'll tear you limb from limb. Yeah. Sloppy. For Alamigo! I have you now. Yeah. Yeah! Sloppy. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
There we go. All right, well, we managed to muddle our way through that one, didn't we? Didn't pick up anything. Oh, yeah, one of those rings will supersede what we've got. Cool. We're at eye level 254 now. That's good.
You've beaten me, aye. But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come.
We did it! We showed the bastards!
Aye! Victory is ours!
And who knows, lads? Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea. They die that others may live.
Oh gosh, Laurentius and Yu Hasi. I want to smack them.
Vanguards! Attack!
Seven hells. Do you hear that?
War machines. How did they get here so quickly?
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
There's nowhere to run. We're cut off.
Gods help us! What were we thinking? The Empire's too big. Too powerful. Mighty Rolger, grant us the strength to crush our...
There you are. As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
What do we do? This is a massacre!
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Illbird. I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now! Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand? You truly are a sheltered child, Leveilleur.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free Al Amigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
What exactly do you mean to do?
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true. A god has no need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Summoned? You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal! You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power!
Oh yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
What? Here? Now?
Like hells you will!
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, you shall have it all!
This light, is it...
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do!
There is one thing.
What? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days!
Alphino, though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Tiptimati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalimo! I know how that spell works. It is time to leave!
Quite right. Quickly now, off you go! The further away, the better!
No! If you're staying, then so am I!
No, Ida! There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here, not like this! Take her! Please, you have to take her!
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
I will stay at Papa Emo's side.
Hilda! I think he means now!
I bid thee farewell again, my dear Ida. Now, let us see how good a student I truly was.
Why? Why didn't they let me stay? Papa Emo's my friend. I should have been there with him. You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing, what had to be done. Master Louisoix wore that same look right before the end. Do you think I don't know that? I know, all right? I know. There's nothing more you could have done. Ilberd caught us off guard. Even Anne was powerless to stop him. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you will never forget what Papaimo strove to protect, or the lessons he tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ida with me. Go on. Go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. Orchestration roll. Oh, we gotta clear out some space in our armory chest again. Let's see. Boy, yeah, we got like 35. What's this? Woolen Deer Stalker. Materia for those then. Stick that coat back in there, should be good. All right. Another orchestration roll there. Okay. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and apprise our companions of all this. Pray, make your way there at once. I will send word to Ishtola and the others of our imminent return. Would seem you bring ill tidings, brother. Aye. Behind the griffin's mask we found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilberd. I know not how, but he had in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual, even as we looked on. By the 12. I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's ether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I'm certain Papaimo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilberd came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the sea of clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind-aspected ether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Then mayhap it was the work of an Ascian, but now is not the time for idle speculation. Krile, I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it then. What? Without so much as by your leave? Pray, forgive Archon Ishtola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. A desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I too must contend with this grievous loss in mine own way. By thy leave, Lady Alice, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papaimo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilberd's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. And another orchestration roll. All right. Anne, I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged. Meaning, we still have no idea how long it will be before... A communication from the Alliance. One moment. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The Council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the Primal, of course. As of Ishtola's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall, unchanged. Yes, but the Elder Seedseer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to the proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones in Tataru's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand.
word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Good God, man! Are you all right?
Whoops.
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
All right, back over to Gridania. Welcome, Warrior of Light. This way, if you please.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal...
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice-damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon, of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanow since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I'm graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years studying side by side at the Academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame? Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartano while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
Don't look at me. No, but I'll keep an eye on him.
As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like we have much choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. 'Twould seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Carteneau and take command of Omega. Sid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Carteneau being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
My blade is yours.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions, not least among them how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alice is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. Airship landing. And Alphino, ready to go? The others have stepped out onto the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of the man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alphino. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are... Ah, well, here they are now. Right. I think that's everyone. Shall I set course for Cartano? Might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain as clear an understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such time as you have finished procrastinating. All right. While Alphino speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. Mine apologies for the trouble. I shall visit Ishtola and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. And pray accompany Alice back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest. Right. Everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave. You are traveling with Master Garland, miss? The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. And that was fast. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones, then?
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
Oh, I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boilmaster, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
All right.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Good God, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu! Why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly, but now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? Yugiri? You draw steel against the curs of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
And wait, could I speak to you for a moment? Do you remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge and we, ambushed you? Huh. Yeah, I remember. Well, once we had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Here. You can try it on right now if you like. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? Yeah, good. You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to, you know, bring you home. May it always protect you. Let's see, everything went to the armory chest. That's good. Ooh, more orchestration rolls. So we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Ida, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist Ishtola and Kryl. A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartano Expedition Party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega while Anne, Ida, and our Doman friends take care of security. Gosetsu is pumped. The Excelsior is by the lake just outside town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. All right. Ah, there we go. Another glowing event point. We haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Cartano before Gosetsu graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard. Given that Eline Royale was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. And if Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by this new primal, it is not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight. Yep, the glowing event point tells me the same thing.
Now, where was that? Ah!
I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland. Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
For all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
You watching, Pabalimo? No retreat. No surrender.
Okay, can't make a dance partner out of any of them.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
It's all over now. Leave this to me.
With soul and steel!
No holding back. An opening.
It's my right to strike!
This one'll sting.
Surrender, we have you outnumbered. Wouldn't be the first time. Are you still playing with those soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Huh? Behold, the Red Baron. Now, end this nonsense. Hehehe. What the? No one told me they'd have Magitech armor. Forward! For the Empire! The honorless cur thinks to abandon his men. I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray, attend to the rest of his minions. You got it, Gosetsu. Okay, let's see here.
You watching, Pabalimo? Leave this to me.
With soul and steel!
It's all over now. An opening.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
This one'll sting. No retreat. No surrender.
It's my right to strike!
No holding back. Your defense is lacking.
I have you!
You watching, Pabalimo? Leave this to me.
With soul and steel!
It's all over now. An opening.
Look upon us, samurai of Dhamma!
This one'll sting.
No retreat. No surrender.
It's my right to strike!
You haven't seen the last of me. Mark my words, it'll be you who rues this day. Whatever you say, big boy.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess, we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
Well, what do you think?
What do I think? All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
All right, way to mash that button.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose. Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalimo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
Oh, wow. Did not remember that. I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. Yes, let's travel to Gridania. One moment everything was functioning perfectly and the next it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Ida, wait! We must first... the Elder Seedseer is expecting us. Worry not, Alphino. Gosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. The Elder Seedseer awaits you within. My friends, full eagerly have I awaited your return. You indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You are too kind, Elder Seedseer. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try, but tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega Eye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. What words could do justice to such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain, but I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its midst rose a great dragon. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Girabania. The primal's might defied belief. It seemed the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magics as I have never seen, and hope never to see again. The battle raged on with no end in sight until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamegan soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye, it seemed that each had landed a fatal blow upon the other. While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the primal's form, the Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of Far Eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. This Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have, alas, no eyes on the Girabanian side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force under the command of Marshal Taropin to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the Council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega's stasis system, so even if it has fallen into the Empire's lap, it will be of no use to them, save perhaps as a statue. Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions, if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. Indeed, I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the Resistance representatives in Girabania. Though Ilbert has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation, and by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrested from Garlemald's grasp. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first make a small detour? Y'shtola and the others have gathered at Amarissa's spire, and I imagine that you too would be interested to see what has become of the wall now the cocoon is gone. It is decided then. Lead on.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilbert's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberdal but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by a Mega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She is up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhaps she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too, and I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Sharlayan. That was where she met Master Louisoix. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
Oh boy.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
Why did you never tell me?
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner. to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lys. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
It was brave of Lys to remove her mask after so long. Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papaimo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on this road she has resolved to walk. That's right. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell Tataru and my sister. And that would be the end of Heavensward now. Well, we won't watch the credits here. But I will take a brief break here, intermission for a few moments, so bear with me here, and I promise I will be back shortly.
Children of the land, do you hear? Echoes of truths that once rang clear. Two souls intertwined, one true love they did find, bringing land and heavens near. But flames that burn full bright soon fell dark. Memories dimmed by shadowed hearts. In the waxing gloom did wane the lover's moon, watching as their worlds drift apart. One soul's cry, a passion welling within. Sacrifice, a final plea to her kin. Yet this bond of hope by treachery was broke, scattering her words to the wind.
Now, sorry about that. Back here. Lisa's chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Girabania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom but indolence, correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as I rather suspect do you. Quick march! The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. It is almost time, Father. Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me. Very well, Ilberd. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us. My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Belsar's wall has fallen to the Eorzean Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown Icon continues, though both yet elude us. My Lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Forgive me, my lord. I did not intend. Your will be done. Unknown? My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinru, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. At the far edge of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. A dawn of liberation, a gathering storm of blood. All right. Well, that should finish Heavensward now. Yep. we'll go ahead and at least get this started before we have to travel somewhere.
The question is, how will the Empire respond to the disappearance of Omega and the Primal? Oh, I didn't see you there. Forgive me. Word from Baelsar's wall is proving long in the coming, and my mind cannot help but stray to grim places.
Alphino, a message from the Alliance.
It's about time. Pray summon the others at once.
Yes, sir.
General Uldin reports that his forces have secured the breach in Baelsar's wall.
And what of the Primal and Omega?
There is still no sign of either at this time. He writes that they will begin a more thorough investigation shortly. And, as expected, he wishes to petition the aid of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
As expected.
The Alliance's decision to capture a part of Baelsar's wall is open to interpretation.
The wall serves to demarcate Imperial territory, Alamigo included, from the rest of Eorzea. To an observer, the Alliance's actions could be seen as a prelude to invasion.
Indeed. And the Alliance leaders have no wish to be branded invaders.
You're saying they won't fight for Alamigo? Even after everything that's happened?
Not without the consent of her people, no. Make no mistake, Lys. The Alliance is in complete agreement that the Empire must be purged from Eorzea. However, they will not set foot in Gyr Abania until they have formally secured the consent and cooperation of the Alamigan opposition.
They would have us act as intermediaries.
Precisely. The Scions are uniquely qualified to serve in this capacity. That is to say, Lys's, given her personal connection to the Resistance. Who better than you to broker an agreement between the Alliance and the people of Alamigo? Assuming you are willing, of course.
Of course I am! You know I'd like nothing more!
As for who should accompany you on said diplomatic mission, I had a mind to volunteer myself.
Well, that covers the talking part. But you just know there'll be trouble along the way. Are you available?
As if you have to ask. I can't continue the story unless I accept.
Thanks. It means a lot knowing you'll be there.
I too shall accompany you. Such endeavors are seldom hampered by a surfeit of healers.
Good point. Allow me to offer my services as well.
I have spent quite enough time here of late, so I'll be coming. But we will need someone to keep an eye on things. I trust you have no objections?
None, my lady. Gladly shall I continue to serve as caretaker of the Waking Sands, and there keep watch for signs of primal and Ascian activity both.
As capable as my learned friend undoubtedly is, there are some troubles that may prove too much for a single scion, on account of which I mean to stay.
It is settled then. Let us each see to our preparations. Ready, my friend?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am.
Well then. Tataru, I leave the rising stones in your capable hands.
Don't worry, Alphino. I'll see that the place is still standing when you come back.
Mistress Y'shtola has unfolded all. You are bound for Girabania?
Aye. The Alliance would have us make contact with the Alamegan resistance as soon as possible.
It begins then. As soon it shall in Doma, if the gods are good. 'Tis but a pity it must be now. I am sorry that we shall not be present to fight beside you in the battles to come.
You have stood with us countless times, Lady Yugiri. Pray do not apologize.
Then let us thank you instead. You and yours stood with us from the first, when we came to this land as refugees in search of sanctuary. Loath am I to think what might have become of my people, had you not extended to us the hand of friendship. We will never forget. This I solemnly swear.
Much has changed since first you set foot on these shores. Revenant's toll stands as a testament to that. I'm sure your people will manage in your absence.
Indeed. They have built a new home for themselves and no longer need me to shepherd them. The time has come for Kozetsu and I to return to our master, to our home.
I know how you feel. It's time I went home too.
Though our battlefields be 1,000 mounds apart, our purpose is one. That all men hearken to the clarion call of freedom, of liberation, from Eorzea to the far east, that they may rise up and cast down the curse of Garlemald.
Take care, you hear me? When all of this is over, we're going to celebrate, together. Just you wait.
I should like that very much. Fare you well.
1,000 malms apart, yet united in purpose. Let us pray both our endeavors meet with success. Shall we then? Wait, not just yet. I knew I'd forgotten something important. Lise, could you come with me? Me? What now? All right then, if you insist. Yay! What do you think? As you can see, I designed it to be light and loose, an outfit tailor-made to the needs of a skilled fighter like Lise. Your work never ceases to impress. Much more of this, and I may have to stop introducing you as the Scion's receptionist and start referring to you as our preeminent seamstress. It's lovely, Tataru. Thank you. I feel like I could take on a legion. I'm glad you like it. And with that, I'll delay you no longer. Safe travels. Then onward to Girabania. Our first stop will be at Amarissa's Spire in the East Shroud. And we will not move the story forward anymore for right now. We have a whole series of crafter and gatherer quests we're going to go through at this point. So for several streams, we'll be spending time leveling up our crafters and gatherers, getting them to the end of the Heavensward content for them. So let's see, where are we with Miner? If I can push the, oh, they're almost high enough level to get the next quest there, it looks like. And Botanist has already done theirs, and Fisher could do their next one. Alright, let's see if we can get that one underway. Yeah, if we could go ahead and get Fisher knocked out. Although, we probably need the gear that we get from doing the gathering, or the Miner and Botanist quests. Might be best to wait and do those. Alright, so anyways, to get Miner bumped up, let's see here. Let me head back to my hometown here for a moment. Let's see. Find some notes here that I've got on all of this. Okay, yeah. Did I set my collectibles? No, I haven't done that yet. Alright, so I need to get those set up for Miner and Botanist for now. That there, and let's see, Scour is here. Meticulous I use here. Scrutiny there. And let's see. I think that's all I'm going to need right now. King Shield, was it Solid Reason? Grants another attempt. Yeah, that's the one. I want stick there for now. Alright. So that'll be for Miner. Let's do the same thing for Botanist. Sound seems to be kicking out here locally, but I think it looks like it's going through the stream okay. There we go. And we'll do the same here for Botanist. Select, Scour, Meticulous. Scrutiny there. And let's see, Ageless Words for this one. Okay. And if you excuse me for a moment, I'm going to take a short break and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Yeah, we just wanted to check and see. I think we got collectibles unlocked here. Let's make sure. Yeah. All right, so we can actually get do some collectible gathering. Let's see, we are at level 57 botanist. And let's see what we need to collect here. It is almost 10 o'clock p.m. here. Let's see, that's a botanist one in the smoldering wastes. We can give that a try. Luck of the Pioneer. Need that on the bar, I think. All right, yeah, we're gonna have to take another intermission here, it looks like, while we change back to our home world. Yeah, we can't be on the remote data center while we do some of this stuff here. So let's do that. We'll brief intermission while we wait for that transfer to take place. All right, there we go. Now let's see, let's try, see, it's currently 11 o'clock. Let's see what's available, anything available at 12 o'clock here. Don't want to push things very much. Yeah, over at Avalonia Fallen, we could try to get something there. We'll head on over to, Annex Shrine. Still not seeing anything showing up here. Let's see.